Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to So You Think You're Iconic, the movie podcast. So, Kelly,
Mm-hmm.
we're we're on day 2 of
Day
Twilight
two,
week.
Twilight week.
Um, how's it going?
I'm already feeling it.
So
I'm two
we're
movies deep and I'm feeling it.
so we're literally recording 2 episodes today.
Mm-hmm.
This one, New Moon and Eclipse. And she has not finished Eclipse.
I have not. Because, I was like, you know what? I'm in a productive mood. Like, I cleaned my whole room. I had like everything ready. I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna just sit here and just binge two Twilight movies back to back. I thought I was strong enough for that. I am definitely
You
not.
most definitely are not. I
I
don't
am
know
definitely not.
which. You're a Hufflepuff. You couldn't do that. That's
I
torture.
I know that I set myself up for failure. I literally got, I don't know, halfway into New Moon and I was screaming at my screen at Bella the whole time. And then I finished New Moon and then I started Eclipse and then I got 15 minutes in and I'm just like, I literally cannot get myself to care anymore.
Before we started recording this, she was like, I didn't finish Eclipse. And I was like, that's your movie. And we
Yep.
recorded directly after this. She's
Yep.
like, no, 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 it's fine. I have like 30 minutes left. And then I was like, oh, okay. And then she went on to tell me that she didn't even make it to the climax of the movie yet. So she doesn't know how the movie ends at all.
Which,
So
in my defense, if your climax of your movie is over halfway through your movie, like I have 30 minutes of this 2 hour movie. Like if your climax isn't sooner than that, you've lost me, bro. Like everything that happens up until then, I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah, that's nice. I think the only part that I really cared about was Rosalie.
that's like 5 minutes of the movie.
I know, but still, I was very invested in Rosalie's part.
Well, you have anything else interesting happening?
Um, you know how I said I was gonna wrap my presents yesterday,
You didn't.
and I'm
Shocking.
and I'm probably not gonna do them today either.
I'm shooketh. Oh my goodness.
I'm
What do
probably,
you mean? I'm so shocked.
um, Mister. I've been done wrapping since end of November.
Eh.
Yes,
Well,
I'm a procrastinator, but I work better under pressure. So
I do not. I am not a procrastinator.
no, it's
I'm not
definitely
type
not.
A, but I'm also not type B. Let's say I'm a type A minus.
He's leaning towards A,
Yeah,
but not totally.
yeah. A minus B plus
I'm
in that
definitely a
range.
type B, clearly.
Like I like to be early to places.
Yeah, you do.
I like to do stuff. I hate procrastinating.
Mhm.
I'll do it sometimes, but like
But
I
even
hate,
then, your procrastinating is like, you know what? I waited. If like a project is a month out, you'll wait 2 weeks and then
yeah.
you'll start. Not like, oh my god, it's the week of and I have to start now.
Yeah, no. I've
No.
never written a paper last minute. That's never happened. I will literally, if I get a paper, well, I don't get those anymore. I
Not
graduated. Whoop
anymore.
whoop.
Whoop.
If I got a paper, I would start writing it like, let's say it was due in a month. I would be like, okay, I'm gonna write a little bit now, and then a little bit later, and a little bit later. And then if I do anything last minute, it was probably like the last page.
Wow.
Yeah, I like to finish stuff early.
I'm
Um,
more of a start the week of.
that's why I hated group projects with a burning passion because I would be
But
sitting
see,
there and be like, finish it, finish it, finish
see
it,
with
finish it.
with group projects, I wouldn't be like that because I would feel really bad. So with group projects, I tried to get them done as fast as possible. Also, I just hated like because I had so much. I had school and then I had work right after, and like I had long periods of time where I had to work. So I was just like, I'd rather get this done now so I don't lose some work hours.
You're in the minority
I
because
am in the minority.
I was a business student. I did a lot of group projects. Only one of them went smoothly.
Really?
Only one of them. ask Sabrina. I literally was on the phone one day because I had a group project, and me and this one girl, I swear we hated each other. And then I had to go buy a new laptop or something because my laptop just died.
Oh no.
And so I was in the parking lot of a Best Buy on the phone with Sabrina, literally cursing this girl out.
Oh, sheesh.
Because she wouldn't do anything she was supposed to do, and it was fucking pissing me off. But yeah,
That sucks.
that's over.
Uh-huh.
And people were all like, oh, are you going to do your master's? Hell to the no. Hell to the no. For group projects alone, I'm done with school.
Right. Like papers and stuff, I can hammer those out, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
But like anything that involves another human being, not about it.
Yeah. But on the upside, this week, like a couple of days ago, I went mini golfing for my cousin's wife's birthday.
Yeah, you did.
It was so much fun. I came second to last though.
Oh, dang.
I beat Nyla by like 2 strokes. Like I don't know
and that's all that really matters.
I don't know what was happening.
Are you usually really good at mini golf, or do you just?
I'm usually great at mini golf. Like last time I played mini golf a couple of weeks ago, I came in first place. I don't know what happened.
Oh, what the? Off day for you.
But it's fine.
Very off day.
Very off. And then also that night we were singing happy birthday to her, and I got to set the key because I'm a professional singer.
Yes, you are.
So go on my Instagram, DM me for like special events. You know.
I only specialize in happy birthday though, so anything else.
Yeah, anything else, no.
I will turn down.
I only sing happy birthday, and I only start off to give everyone a good key to sing in. Yeah. That's it.
I do that. And then that's it. Everyone else has to come in immediately.
Yeah. And I charge $25,000.
Yes.
Okay.
Per line. Per line.
Per line.
Per line. Come on now, we gotta secure the bag.
I'm trying to get on the Beyonce money train.
I mean, come on now.
Okay. Are you ready to talk about this movie?
Yes, I am ready to talk about this movie.
Okay. So, here we are, new moon. The movie starts off with Bella running to a crowd that ends into a field where she sees an older woman she believes to be her grandmother. Edward reveals himself in the light to her, and it turns out that Bella is just seeing an older version of herself staring into a mirror. Why the mirror was there, I don't understand. But
maybe to make it more obvious to herself.
Yeah.
Also, why does she look so different from the last movie? Like, she looks drastically different to me from the first movie. Is that just me?
I don't know. Maybe because it's like spring and she's wearing like nicer clothes. I don't.
Maybe. Like something about her skin and her eyes look different to me. I don't know.
And yeah. And so this turns out to be a dream. And Bella's awakened by her father, and it's her birthday.
Yay. Also, how fast did their like relationship grow for them to be able to like joke around and like give each other birthday gifts?
Not that much, because that's the only semblance of them having a relationship in this entire movie.
That's true.
True. And so her father gives her a scrapbook for her senior year, and he makes a joke that she has a gray hair, and she believes it even though she's 18.
Yeah.
She's like, what?
Yeah, it's immediately.
It's like, you're 18 years old. Calm down.
I will say, though, I do have my first gray hair already.
How?
It's the stress, really, though. It's somewhere in the front right here. I only have one, though.
That does not bode well for you.
It does not bode well for me.
I keep my peace, and I keep my youth.
It's all the anxiety.
See, if you were more prepared, you wouldn't be so anxious all the time.
Oh my god. I'm making myself.
I'm overly prepared that way. I can't ever be let down or discouraged. That's how my anxiety manifests itself.
Over prepared.
But that's a conversation for my future therapist.
Yes.
So Bella goes to school and she meets with Edward, who says happy birthday to her, and she gets upset because she thinks she's getting old.
Also, he parks like an asshole. Do you see how
A
he parks?
yes, yes, he took up like 4 parking spaces.
Him and his stupid Volvo parks sideways in the parking lot to get 4 spots. Like I get it, you're a vampire, but that doesn't give you the right to park like an asshole.
And then Jacob comes by to see Bella, and he's bulked up significantly,
Mm-hmm.
but he still has that mighty good wig on.
Ooh, yeah.
He wishes her happy birthday and gives her a gift. What
Yes.
it was the like arm bracelet or whatever. Was that what it
Mm.
was? I watched this movie like 4 days ago.
I didn't write anything down for that. I just said now Edward's okay with Jacob talking to Bella because like
But it comes
anytime Jacob was like next to Bella, he would flip.
I need to remember because it literally comes up in Eclipse. Oh well, that's
No,
your movie.
well,
That's your
I
movie, not
think
my
I
problem.
think no, because in Eclipse he gives her a bracelet. Does
I,
not he gives her a bracelet.
I thought they both gave her a bracelet.
No.
And like
He gives her the bracelet, and Edward gets jealous and gives her a charm to put on Jacob's bracelet.
but like Jacob's bracelet had like either a moon or like a wolf on it, and I
It had a
don't
wolf
remember
on
which. A wolf. That's what it was. Boom. Okay.
it.
And so Alice stops Bella in the hall after jumping like 2 stories from the stairs,
Yeah.
and like no one notices. And she gives her a gift and tells her that she's gonna love it because she
Also,
saw it.
why does Alice look like she's wearing a really bad wig?
Because she probably was.
Because like in that moment, I looked at her and she's like, "I'm like, girl, that does not look good."
Because
Whatever you're wearing on your head.
I don't think that actress actually ever had short hair. I think she was always just wearing a wig.
Oh.
Because I've seen her in other stuff and she never had short hair.
Okay.
And so she invites her over to their house for dinner, which can they please stop doing that?
Right? Can they please? Did they not learn from the first time?
They obviously didn't. So in class, while watching Romeo and Juliet, Edward tells Bella that he made a plan to have the Volturi kill him if he wasn't able to save her from James. And then yeah. And then so we cut to the Cullen house, and Edward explains that the Volturi are leaders in a vampire society. They make all the rules, they enforce them, and apparently they kill people who ask for it,
Mm-hmm.
which is weird, but okay. And oh my gosh, during this scene, Alice is like going around taking pictures, and she literally takes a picture of Bella and Esme, and it's just the back of their heads. Like she's just flashing it any direction. Like she's not actually like pointing and shooting. Like she's just flashing.
I mean, the way any character in this particular movie take a picture is very wrong. Because like when Bella takes her first photo, she literally holds it with one hand like this and like 3 feet away from her, and then clicks the button. And like you see the camera do this, and like the picture is not blurry. Like, have y'all ever used a camera before in your life?
And then so while giving Bella her presents, while Bella's like opening her presents, Bella
Yeah.
cuts her hand. How?
She
Who
says a
knows?
paper cut.
Who
I don't
knows?
believe that.
How
Because
she
that was a lot of blood
it
for a
was a
baby.
lot of blood from wrapping paper.
Mm-hmm.
But okay. And this causes Jasper to try to attack her. During this scene, Edward punts Bella into a wall
And he doesn't say sorry.
for absolutely no reason. Like, why did he feel that he needed to push her? How did
I
that
don't
help
know.
her in any way?
Like he could have just like put her behind him
Exactly.
and just waited it out. But no, homie reacts so fast he just pushes her into the wall. Also, wasn't Jasper in the ballet studio in the first movie when she was bleeding out to death and he was okay?
Yeah, he was perfectly fine. And there was way
So
more
why is he
blood
not
during that
okay?
scene. Who knows? And then so that she like literally gets flung into the wall.
Mm-hmm.
She lands on like a table and ends up cutting her arm even more.
Yeah.
And then the entire family is like blood. And then
Yeah.
they're like, we need to go. Everyone leaves except for
Yeah.
Carlisle and
Mhm.
Edward.
Mhm.
And so Carlisle takes Bella into his office to stitch up her arm. And he says that he never wanted to drink human blood. All he wanted to do was help people, not hurt people. And so he was never really tempted by it.
After he's changed 8 people.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to hurt people. I just want to, every dying person I see, I just want to bite them. I just need to bite them.
I'm not attracted to blood. I'm attracted to my savior complex.
I'm a necromancer. I just can't with death. I don't like it.
Me and death. Once I see death, I'm just like, nah, bro.
Nah, bro. You go over there.
That.
We don't know you in this house.
We don't know you in this house. Death, I don't know her.
And so Edward takes Bella home and he's literally crying. And then he just like sadly walks home.
Yeah.
It's very weird. And so Bella goes to school the next day and the Cullens aren't there. Mm-hmm. And she doesn't get suspicious like at all. She's just like, oh, you're not here.
Right.
Okay, well, I guess I'll just hang out with these friends I keep on standby.
Right. As anybody in that friend group, I'd be pissed.
And then so Bella goes home and Edward is there waiting for her. And he takes her into the woods and breaks up with her.
Yeah.
He's like, I put you in too much danger. And so I'm going to leave. I'm not telling you where I'm going.
Also, can I just say, like, during this whole movie, and I think even during this like little argument that they have, she's brought up her like whole change me routine like 4 times. Mm-hmm. And at this point, is Edward ever going to get angry or like honest to God fed up with her and be like, will you knock it off? Because I'd be pissed, bro.
Look, I'm not fucking changing you. Shut up.
It's like she's at every chance whenever he's just all like, you know what, I love you and blah, blah, blah. She's like, change me.
Then change me.
I'm like, bro, I'd be so, like, you'd be messed up because of how pissed I'd be at you. And even during this whole, like, I put you in so much danger and we can't be together. She's like, just change me and then we can be together forever. And I'm like, bro.
And so, oh gosh. And so while he's breaking up with her, he's like, don't do anything reckless and we're never going to see each other again. Bella then proceeds to lay on the floor in the middle of the woods for like 47 years.
Yeah, she after the argument, Edward literally uses his speed to run away.
And she tries to chase after him.
She tries to chase after him, and she doesn't even run. She like jogs, like walks after him. I'm like, girl, you know how fast he is. You are never catching up to that.
And then once her common sense kicks in, she just lays on the floor.
She curls up in the middle of the forest and just passes out.
And then while Bella is like sleeping, dying, like what's happening, I don't know. A shirtless man finds her, and no one seems to notice that he's half naked in the freezing cold. Yeah. Like he brings her back to Charlie, and Charlie doesn't like. He kind of like takes a second glance at him, but like does not say anything about the fact that this man is in shorts and shirtless in what I'm assuming is fall. Maximum. No, it's like spring now, right? Because it's after. It's this. Whoa. What year is this? Is this still her junior year? Or is this her senior year?
I
feel like it's.
I thought her junior year was last year because they went to prom.
Is this not the same year?
It might be.
I feel like this is the same year. But
like after this, she like. It shows the months passing by, and like the first month that passes by is
October. Okay. So it's her senior year.
It's the start of her senior year.
Okay, so it's freezing.
Yes.
Got it. Cool.
Yes.
And then so we then have right here. We
Right
then have
here.
a scene where Bella is in a catatonic state, sitting in front of her window for 3 months.
No. It's not 3 months.
It is 3 months. It's October, November, December.
No, if you look at the emails that she's sending to Alice before she like breaks, like actually goes outside and does something, it's February.
What the hell?
It's motherfucking February. Like
she didn't do anything from October until February.
October to February.
And her dad just let that happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What is wrong with Charlie?
Yeah, because like I was wondering like when it like dropped off, like started saying the months, and then I looked at when she was sending the emails, and it's like can't like does not return to sender or whatever. It's like February 1, 2, 3. I'm like, girl, it's February. It's been 5 months.
And then she also starts having night terrors.
Yes.
How you get night terrors brought on by a breakup? I don't understand.
I really don't know.
Because you've had much more traumatic things happen.
Really though.
But
and like
okay.
she's waking up in the middle of the night just screaming into her bed every night, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And Charlie has to go up there and be like waking her up and be like, you're fine, it's okay. You're all right.
He was doing this for 5 months. And then finally at the 5-month mark, he was like, hey, I'm gonna send you home. I'm sending you to Florida.
Yeah, because they show her at school like once, and she's sitting at the Cullens table by herself, not eating anything. She looks they did really good with the makeup because she looks like shit. She looks like she hasn't slept in weeks. And he's just like, Charlie just comes up to her one day. He's like, I'm shipping you back to your mother.
Yeah. She's like, maybe you need some sunlight. You need something. Like, you can't be doing this for the rest of your life. Right. But then she calls him off because she's like, no, I'm going to go hang out with Jessica. He's like, oh, okay, you're fine now.
Right. He literally just accepts that.
And so while hanging out with Jessica,
I feel bad for her. She's saddled with.
I mean, she's a terrible person, but like, she didn't deserve this.
Yeah, but she did not deserve depressed Bella.
Because he's hanging out with Jessica, and Bella goes up to some bikers who are catcalling her.
Yeah, because she had a vision of Edward.
Yeah, she had like a vision of Edward. Very weird. Mm-hmm. It's never explained.
It really isn't.
And it happens multiple times throughout the movie.
Mm-hmm. Like she figures out that the only way she has these visions of Edward is if she's in danger. Mm-hmm. But they're never explained how he's able to connect with her because he can't read her mind and he doesn't have the power to like send thoughts to her.
Yeah.
That's not his power.
Mental illness is very real, y'all.
it really is though.
And then so while riding on the back of some random guy's motorcycle who looks like he's like 40 years old. Mm-hmm. She thinks she sees Edward, demands that he stops, and then like walks back to Jessica.
Yeah. And then Jessica's like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Right. She's like, what is wrong with you? She's like, every time I go out with you, you disappear with a random guy.
Honestly.
And I'm sure after that, they never hung out ever again.
And honestly, good for Jessica.
Good for Jessica. And so Bella's now an adrenaline junkie. Mm. And she goes to Jacob so that he can fix up some old motorcycles.
Jacob is too good to this girl.
And then at this point of the movie, my cousin Brandy said, is that a lace front? In reference to Jacob's wig.
I mean, we need to know.
We love Brandy's commentary.
Yes, we do.
And then so while working on the bike, some of Jacob's friends come in and they make fun of him for having a crush on Bella. And Bella seems to just have all these jokes just go right over her head. Like she doesn't notice that they're like, he's in love with you.
Yeah. And she's like, great.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And then we have a montage where Jake and Bella work on the bikes. There's a voiceover of Bella sending Alice an email about how Jake makes her happy. And then one night, while Bella is having one of her night terrors, Charlie's like, hey, you need to start dating Jake. pretty much what he says. He pretty much is like, you should start dating Jake. Keep in mind, she's 18 and he's 16 years old.
Oh, he's 16.
He's 16, which
I was wondering how old he was.
Which, by the way, what's his name? Taylor Lautner. He was a child during these movies, and way too many adult women were like thirsting after him. We need to have a conversation.
Was he the actual age of his character?
I think he was younger.
No way, really?
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad for that.
So we need to have a dialogue. We need to have a dialogue because that's not okay.
That's
right. I was making fun of Brandy this entire time we were watching this movie because anytime he had his shirt off, which was about 95% of the movie,
of any of these movies,
I was like, you're thirsting after a child.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's a child. And she was like, he's not a child anymore. And I was like, but you're looking at a child at this very moment.
Oh yeah, he was 17 in the first film. So like in the second film, he's 18, but still, that's not.
Let's have the conversation.
If you're not over 21.
Okay.
That's jail time.
Back to the movie though. Let's.
Yes.
We'll talk about child labor laws and stuff later. One day, while driving, Bella and Jake see Sam and his quote-unquote boys cliff diving, and Bella sees this as her time to shine because she needs a rush.
She literally sees that. She's like, oh, good, death. I'm gonna file that away for later.
Right? She's like, let me put that in my back pocket for another day. And then so after they fix up the bikes, Bella goes to test out the motorcycle that they've been working on and starts driving like a maniac and crashes into some rocks. And while she says she wants to go again, Jake tells her no. Because obviously she can't drive it. And then he takes off his shirt for absolutely no reason.
He really did not have to do that.
At all.
Unnecessary.
And so one day at lunch, one of Bella's friends, Mike, I think it's Mike.
It's Mike.
I don't know. He like speaks like 3 times this entire movie series. I don't know. Sure. He asks her on a date, and then she goes and invites the entire friend group.
Did he ever think that was going to fly with her? The girl that like can't take a hint.
For that 0.2 seconds he did when she said yes, and then she was like, "You guys want to come with us?" And
honestly, though, she shouldn't even be dating right now. She should probably just learn how to be by herself and with her friends first. After going from that whole Edward codependency thing.
And so the only people who show up are Mike, Jacob, and herself.
Yes. And I love that she invited Jacob too.
She probably did that. She was like, just in case they try to pull something. Like,
no, she was probably just like, the more the merrier. Like, I really like hanging out with Jake. Let's bring him too.
So while on the date, Mike gets sick and Jake tries to shoot a shot.
Also, during this movie scene, they both do the hand thing where you put your hand like palm up on the seat rest and wait.
That's
both of them did that.
That's more of a middle school thing than a high school thing, but they did it.
Well, Jacob is 16, so.
And so, that was probably his first date too, quote unquote date.
Quote unquote.
And then so Bella turns down Jake. Jake then gets upset for absolutely no reason, threatens to fight Mike, and then leaves because he's feeling sick. After several days of not hearing anything from Jacob, Bella goes to his house, and Jake has a new haircut, a tattoo, and is no longer wearing clothes.
Yeah, he will never put on another shirt ever again.
Ever again.
He will just wear shorts.
And then so he's like, you need to get away from me. And she's like, are you hanging out with Sam now? Like, what's going on? And he's like, no, just leave me alone. I know you're hanging out with the Cullens. I know they're vampires. And he's like, I can't be friends with you anymore. And then she's
Mhm.
like begs him not to leave. Like
Oh my god,
begs
yeah.
him not to leave.
Yeah, she basically tells him that like she's only mentally stable when she's with him.
Yeah.
And then
Which
the abandonment issues like come up full like wave and she's like, please don't leave me.
she needs a therapist so badly.
She
Wow.
really does.
The amount of begging she does in this movie, actually this entire series, is
Yeah. Yeah.
wow.
Like we say this every movie just like to be funny, but like no, this is like
No, she
really,
truly
really
needs a
serious.
therapist.
She truly does.
Like she has some deep-seated abandonment issues that probably stem
Mm-hmm.
from Charlie. Let me not get into that right now. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so then she goes, after she's been abandoned by Jake, she goes hiking in the woods for some reason. And she encounters Laurent, who's looking for the Cullens. Laurent looked ashy as hell in this movie. Like it looked like they threw baby powder over his skin.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
He looked gray.
Like he looked
He
ashy in the
looked
first
gray.
movie, but in this
This was
movie,
worse.
it was a million times worse. I was just sitting there. I was like, this actor really went in front of a camera looking like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like
He
his
really
eight,
said that this is okay.
this is okay. And like his agent let it happen, his manager let it
Mm-hmm.
happen, the director let it happen, the
Mm-hmm.
makeup artist let it happen. What was happening? There was no connecting with this.
There really wasn't.
They were like, oh, vampires are supposed to be pale, but he's black. So instead of just letting him be black,
Right.
we're gonna throw like baking soda on his body and be like, cool.
Let's call it a day, y'all.
It looked like he was rolling around in cocaine for 3 days. Like, what was
Basically.
happening?
Basically.
And so he's like, what's up, Bella? I'm looking for the Cullens. I went to their house. They're not there. What's going on? And she's like, oh, they went on a trip. And then he obviously knows that she's lying. And
Also, she's getting visions of Edward right
yeah,
now,
he's like,
telling her
lie.
to,
He's like, lie
yeah.
better. And then she's like, um, I'll tell them that you were here. And he was like, are you kidding me?
Right. His father's like, I'm so glad I left.
He's like, well, Victoria wants to kill you,
Mm.
but if she kills you, she'll like torture you. So like, let me kill you, and I'll do it very quickly.
Yeah.
And then she like kind of just stands there because she knows she can't do anything. She's like,
Yeah.
okay. And then right before he's able to kill Bella, he's attacked by werewolves.
Mm-hmm.
And while he's fighting them, Bella runs into town and tells everyone about these large wolves she saw.
Mm-hmm.
But she doesn't know they're werewolves. They're
Wah, wah, wah,
werewolves.
wah.
Shaggy? um, yeah, she doesn't know that they're werewolves. She's just like, I saw these giant wolves. And they're
Yeah,
like,
she's like, they're
okay.
not bears. They're not bears. They're like really giant wolves. And they're like, oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
We'll go check it out, I guess.
Like, everybody grab your guns. Like, let's go. Because apparently that's all the sheriff office does is go hunting for animals
Yeah,
because
but
people can't be killed by humans.
Is Harry even part of the police department? He literally was just there at Charlie's house when Bella came by and was like, they're wolves.
No, I think he just helps out.
I feel like 90% of like Charlie's like help system is not even police officers. It's just
No, it most definitely is not. It's probably like old hunting buddies. He's like, hey,
basically.
like, do you want to go with me while I get paid to hunt these wolves?
Right. Like, hey, yo, we were just drinking beers and watching the football game, but like my daughter said that there's wolves in the forest. You want to go like hunting with me?
Yep.
Oh, you're down? Are any of your buddies down? All right, let's go.
Like, we'll get some beer after. Like, it'll be a fun day.
We'll make a day out of it.
And so that night, Jacob comes to Bella's window and apologizes for what he said earlier to her, and that he can't tell her what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
All of this is done while he is yet again half naked.
Also, what was that hair grab that she does with him?
Who knows? She
She
did
literally, his hair is cut so short, and she literally just like yanks at whatever she can grab and holds it. Like, what was the purpose?
Who knows? She also like touches his chest
Oh yeah,
Like Peggy does in Captain America.
she
the
literally just
the
sees his
little
abs and she's like, I gotta touch that.
yeah. And
And
then
Jacob does not say anything. He just lets her do it, and he's like, "All right,
I'm
cool."
like, yeah, I know. And so Jake gives her a clue about what's going on by reminding her of the story of the Cullens coming to Forks in the first movie.
Mhm.
He then jumps out of the second story window.
Yeah, and she doesn't comment.
No, she's like, "What are you doing?" And then he does it and then runs off into the forest. And she's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, she's like, "I nice, didn't break his ankles." Great.
And so that night, while she's having a dream, Bella realizes that Jacob is a werewolf and goes to look for him the next day. She confronts, I thought she was going to be confronting Sam, but then I found out that his name was Paul. And so I had to
Yeah,
like rewrite this. She confronts Paul,
because Sam comes later.
yeah, about Jacob
Mhm.
and makes him so upset that he turns into a wolf and like chases after her.
Yeah,
And like no one does anything. Like he
yeah,
could have killed
he
her.
literally could have killed her. Also, I love the fact that like Bella was down to throw hands
Yeah, with a werewolf.
with a
And
werewolf.
she already saw how big they were.
She like goes up to him and she's like, "What did you do to him?" And then he's all like, "Don't come near me." And then she like just like comes up to him
Yeah.
like ready to strike.
And
I'm
then
like, "Girl, good for you."
and then luckily for her, Jacob comes out, turns
Hmm.
into a wolf and fights Paul.
Hmm.
The other members of the pack take Bella to Sam's fiance, Emily,
Hmm.
and they're like, "Don't stare."
Oh
And
yeah.
she's like, "Don't stare at what? Like tell me what not to stare
Yeah,
at."
they don't tell her
And they literally
either.
don't tell her.
They just walk in.
But it turns out that Emily has a scar on her face
Hmm.
from Sam scratching her in a fit of rage, I guess.
Yeah, they explain it more in Eclipse, but even then, I don't really understand what happened
I don't either.
because if he was in his werewolf form, wouldn't his paws just like annihilate her face?
Right? Like it didn't seem that bad for like how
Right.
big they were.
Right. It's not like it's just a scar on the side of her face. Like it's a deep scar, but it's not like if he was in werewolf form and like went like this at her face, like her face would be gone.
Yeah.
And it's not like they can only transform one part of themselves.
Just as he's just sitting there as a human with a giant ass paw.
Don't make me mad. Don't make me mad. His head just like transforms into a paw.
And then so Paul comes back with Jacob and they're all buddy buddy now for
Mm-hmm.
some reason. And he gives Bella literally the lamest apology. It's not an apology at all. Because
What does
he's
he
like
say?
he's kind of kidding. Like he looks at her, he smiles, says sorry, chuckles, and then like takes a muffin.
Oh yeah.
Like he
He
wasn't
literally just says it
actually
passing.
he was not actually sorry. It was not an
Mm-mm.
apology.
No.
And then so Jacob and Bella go for a walk, and he tells her all about how he turned into a wolf and that he only kills vampires except for the Cullens because they have a treaty.
Mm-hmm.
During this talk, he also calls Laurent a leech with dreads, and I think that was a microaggression.
Yeah.
Because, like,
Yeah.
why did you have to mention the dreads?
Yeah. You literally could have just called him a leech.
Yeah.
Or like said something bad about vampires, not you could have just left the dreads out of
Yeah,
this.
you could have let the dreads out. But I'm not a writer on this movie, so
Mm,
and so Jacob tells Bella that Victoria keeps coming back and that he doesn't know why. And then Bella's like, it's because of me, which there's no evidence of that, but
everything revolves around her.
everything evolves around Bella for some
Mm-hmm.
reason. And then so the wolves start like patrolling Bella's house,
Mm-hmm.
even though has she ever gone anywhere near Bella's house?
No. And
Because
she hasn't even gotten close.
no,
The closest anyone has ever gotten, I'm assuming, is Laurent because she meets him somewhere
yeah,
and it's only as far as she can walk, so it's got to be close.
who knows? And so one day while hunting the wolves with the police, like hunting, like he's trying to hide the fact that there's wolves for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And then so Harry is attacked by Victoria, But before she can kill him, the wolves like attack her. But she gets away somehow.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how that happened.
It's
Like
like,
at one point they literally like had her and
yeah.
then she got away.
Because like he charges at her and like has her in like a hold, and then she just jumps out.
Yeah, it was weird. And then after like Victoria like threw him to the ground, Harry had a heart attack.
Mhm. Which wasn't really clear, by the way.
Yeah.
When I watched this, I was just like, "Oh, did he get hurt or something by accident?"
I was
Or
like, did she have like a special power or something? I
I
was
know, like, did she
luckily they
actually
tell
get
us what
him?
happened.
Yeah, right.
And so while this is all happening, Bella is hiking to the top of the cliff from earlier and she jumps off
I was so not here for this.
so that she can have one of her adrenaline induced psychosis episodes.
Mm-hmm. She literally just lets herself drown, and that just reminded me of like the gray scene where like Meredith gets pushed into the water
And she
and
just
she just
lets
lets
herself
herself go.
drown. It's
That's
like,
literally the only thing I thought of. Because like, girl, you know how to swim.
yeah. And it was very confusing how she even survived that jump because it was very high.
It was very high. Like after a certain height, you're not even just jumping into water anymore. It just feels like you're falling flat on concrete because
Yeah.
it's still a form that you're hitting. So how she got off without like a scratch or bruise, I will not know.
Whatever happened.
Also, she's jumping into the ocean in February. That shit's cold.
Yeah.
She
And
should have
so
gone to the hospital.
there's tons of times where she should have did stuff that
That is
didn't
that is
happen.
true.
And so after she jumps, she like comes up and then she gets like knocked down by a wave. And even though she looks like she's in the middle of the ocean, she somehow gets backed into a wall, like a cave wall,
Yeah,
and then like hits
yeah,
her head.
yeah.
And then she either actually does see Victoria coming towards her or it's like another hallucination.
It's probably a hallucination.
It's not really made clear because
Mm-hmm.
Victoria also jumped into the ocean when she was
Yeah, she
escaping
did.
from the wolves.
But I feel like she jumped a lot further than Bella did. You
Yeah.
know, because of
And I don't think they
her
were in the same area
they
either.
were. I feel like they were a lot further apart.
Either way, it doesn't really make a difference to the plot.
Mm-mm.
And so she's like drowning. And then
Yes.
and then she has a vision of like Edward laying beside her while she dies. And then Jacob somehow finds her in the middle of the ocean
Oh yeah,
and
maybe
takes
it's
her.
the scent.
He can smell underwater.
Maybe he just like the scent ended there, so he's like, I might as well go deeper. I don't
Okay.
know.
And then so Jacob saves her. He
Mm-hmm.
takes her home and they almost kiss.
Mm-hmm.
And they do this like throughout the entire movie. Like there's always an almost kiss.
Mm-hmm. He's cock blocked the entire movie.
Like they put like their foreheads like right next to each other
Mm-hmm.
and their
Mm-hmm.
lips are literally like 2 centimeters apart.
Mm-hmm.
But then like it never happens.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's so like they could be like she didn't cheat on him even though he
They're
broke up
not
with
even.
her
Yeah,
and they
they've
weren't
broken up.
together.
This isn't the that whole friends. We were on a break type. No, he like broke up with her.
Yeah. And then so Bella doesn't kiss him because she realizes that she sees Carlisle's car.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh my gosh. And so she
She's
goes
back on
in.
her vampire bullshit.
Yeah, she goes in. And Alice is at her house. And I was just like, I thought you were dead. I had a vision that you jumped off a cliff. And then Alice is like, not Alice, Bella is like, oh no, it was cliff diving. I did it for fun.
And Alice does not buy that, thank God.
Right? She's like, girl,
She's all like, I saw you jump. I saw that suicidal look in your eye.
yeah, I saw that look in your eye. And then Alice and Jacob get into a fight. Brandy says it's because cats hate dogs.
True.
And then uh, Bella and Jacob are in the kitchen and they almost kiss again
Again.
before Bella's house gets a call from Edward looking for
Mm-hmm.
Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
And Jacob tells him that he's not there because he's planning a funeral. That's literally the worst way to say someone isn't home. Like, oh, he's not home. He's planning a funeral.
That was also very petty of him.
It was. And then, of
I'm
course,
here for this.
Edward is distraught because who else would he be planning a funeral for if not the one
True.
person in his life?
True. But like also, can I just say that like in the first movie, they like straight up said that Alice's visions can change.
Yeah.
So like how do they know when they're like true or not?
Who knows?
Is it a
They
feeling
don't
that
they
she
don't ever
gets?
seem they don't ever seem to be wrong.
That is that's the thing. They always say like in the first movie they're like, "Oh, she might be wrong this time because things change." And then after that she's never wrong.
She's
Like,
never wrong.
can you just make her wrong once, please? Like this time she was wrong this one time because Jacob like interfered, but
Yeah. And
no.
so Alice runs in and she's like, Bella, Rosalie told Edward about what I saw. And so now he's going to go to the Vulture to kill himself.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there like, why did you tell Rosalie?
True.
Like, why? You know Rosalie is a straight shooter. If
Hell yeah.
somebody asks her a question, she gonna answer that question. I don't know why you would tell Rosalie without being 150% sure.
Yeah, like Alice should have known that. Alice should have known that. She should have been like, you know what? I'm gonna go check my sources and then I'm gonna tell somebody. But
Yeah.
nah. Like, who would have cared if like Alice just left for like a couple days? Nobody.
No one would have cared.
Nobody would have cared. Like, she could have taken Jasper with her and they'd be like, oh yeah, they're off doing God knows what. But no, she decides to tell freaking Rosalie, and Rosalie doesn't care about Bella anyway. So why should she tell her?
Yeah. And so Alice and Bella are like, we need to get to Italy.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob's like, what are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, he doesn't care about you. He left you. She's like, well, I can't just let him kill himself. Which valid, I guess.
Valid, I
I
guess.
get, but like a phone call.
A phone call, yeah, right. Because like I don't like later on when they like get there, they like Alice is like, he has to see you, or I can't tell him, or because he won't believe me, he'll like read my thoughts, and like no
How
one
does
can mimic voices in this verse. So why not just call him or call Rosalie or Esme and be like,
yeah,
hey, your girlfriend that's not dead is on the phone.
yeah,
What's up?
something.
Because
Well,
there's this moment where I was literally like, I don't want to watch the rest of this.
either way, they race all the way to Italy and somehow make it there before he dies, even though
Oh
he's
my
in
god.
Paris. He's in Paris going to Italy, which is not that far away, and they're going from Washington
Yeah,
to
to
Italy.
Italy and then to the very tiny town where the Vulture is. And
Yeah,
they get there and Alice is stopped by the police and she's like, Bella, you have to run to him. You have 5 minutes. She's never been in this town before.
right. She's like, "Where
She
am I
literally
going?"
she literally just said, find
The bell tower,
the bell tower.
and a crowd of like
In a
500
crowd
people.
of people in a town that she's never been in before. She's
Yeah.
literally just running the streets.
Yeah, and so she's running through the crowd, just like the scene at the beginning of the movie.
Uh-huh.
And then she like sees Edward like taking off his
Sure.
robe so that he could step into the sunlight and reveal himself.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought Alice said that they would never let him even get close to doing it.
Yeah, that's what they said.
And literally, like his face was in the sun.
I know, like that
And,
little girl. There was a
yeah,
little girl in the
a
crowd, and
little
she like
girl
looks
saw
over and
him.
points at him.
Yeah,
She
she
points
saw
at
him.
him, and
And
then like he's in the sun, and then he's in the sun for like a good 5 seconds
5 to 10 seconds.
before Bella even gets there.
And then like Bella is literally directly across from him, and he literally doesn't look
Yeah,
up.
yeah. Well, didn't he have his eyes closed? Or no, he had his eyes open.
I have no
Because
idea.
at one point he had his eyes closed and he like wouldn't open them, even though like Bella was right there. Also, I feel like Alice put like so much emphasis on the fact that the Volturi would kill him. So like the moment he stepped in the sun, I'm like, homie's dead. Homie is dead.
Because he should have been dead.
Because he should have been. He really should have been.
And so Bella like pushes him inside,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like, "I'm alive." He's like, "Oh, great."
Mm-hmm.
And then so the Volturi send in some people.
Can I
to
just say, right? Not like before the Vulture get there.
Yeah.
Bella sees him and she's like, "Oh my god, good you're alive." And then she's like, "Now I can move on. And like I can finally get my life on." I'm just like, "Oh my god, yes, girl." She's finally gonna like get some help for herself. And then Edward's like, "No, I love you." And I'm like, you just messed up the whole potential like character growth arc for her. Like she literally could have become a way better person if you're just like, "Yeah, I'm alive. Thank you for saving me. You should go back
Yeah.
to Forks now because your dad probably is really worried about you."
Extremely worried because you left without telling anyone.
Again.
But yeah. And then so they send in some people to go fetch Edward. And Edward's like, "Nothing happened." And they're like, "I don't care." Like, we want to see you.
Well, technically, he was in the sunlight in front of
Yeah.
him, so something did happen.
Something did happen. And then so literally 2 seconds after these men come inside, little Dakota Fanning comes in.
Oh,
She's not little.
she's not
I mean she's a tiny person, but like
yeah,
she's an adult.
she's an adult.
She comes in and she's like, "What's taking so long?" They literally just got there 2 seconds ago. And like everyone's like afraid of her, and we have no idea why at this point. And then so she's like, "Come on." And then Alice comes in, and all three of them go down to like their sanctum.
Yeah, I don't.
And then there's this leader named Arrow. Arrow, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Arrow.
Sure.
Even though it's literally spelled ARO.
Yeah. And apparently he has like the power to like when he touches people, he can like see every thought they've ever had. And so he reads all of Edward's thoughts. And he's like, "Whoa, none of her powers work on anyone?" Or yeah, no one's powers work on her. He's like, "Let me try." So he grabs her hand. He's like, "Oh my gosh, I don't see anything." Like, this is just so perplexing to them. They're like, "Oh my gosh." And then so he's like, "I wonder if it works on everyone's powers." And he's like, "Jane." And then Edward's like, "No." And then Jane hurts Edward. And then poor Kristen Stewart. Really bad acting. She starts like screaming and like hyperventilating and like scratching like she's going through like withdrawal or something. Yeah. And then she's like, no. Just do it on me. Just do it on me. And it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Is there ever an explanation for this?
No.
Is it possible? Is it because?
Oh, yes, there is. Yes, there is.
Okay.
In like Breaking Dawn, in the Breaking Dawn movies, there's sort of an explanation.
Is it because of her like the eventual powers that she gets? Is that it? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then so Arrow's like, "Cool, that's amazing. But I'm gonna kill you now."
Yeah. I've had my fun for my 2 minutes. It's time for you to go.
He's like, "That was so much fun." He's like, "I've never had that much fun in like the 1,500 years I've been alive. Like that was amazing." But you know all of her secrets, so I'm gonna have to you. So I was just like, fair. I was just like, "No, don't do it. She will eventually become a vampire." And then he holds her hand. And he's like, "Okay."
He believes it.
He's like, "I'll let it slide." And then so, what's her name? Bella. Bella is given like a trial period or whatever, like a period of time. They're like, "You need to hurry up and do this. Like, we're not going to wait forever."
Yeah. They're just like, "We're going to give you this amount of time. If you're not a vampire by the time it ends, then we're going to have to kill you.
We're killing your ass." And so, on the way out, they pass by a group of tourists, including children. Yeah. Like, I saw a child.
Yeah, there's a child there.
and they are meant to be the meal of the Volturi. And then while they're leaving, we hear all of them screaming. And then Bella wakes up in her bed and is being comforted by Edward.
And Bella still wants to be a vampire?
Right? Like, after you've seen them kill children?
Right. Like, you're going to be that. You're going to want to do that to somebody else, and you're just going to have to overpower it. But, girl.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so Edward then explains to Bella that he left because he thought it was better for her to live a normal life.
It really is.
And then in the middle of their conversation, Charlie comes in and grounds Bella forever for leaving for 3 days without telling him where she was going. Did she even have a passport? Like, how does she get to Italy?
I don't know. At this point, I'm just convinced that, like, the Cullens have too much power and they're just able to get Bella wherever they want her to go.
They probably had like a private jet and they were like, come on, let's go.
And they probably just pay them and be like, shut your mouth, just let her cross.
Right, just let her cross the border. Like, here's $50,000. Just let her go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so then we cut to Bella and Edward making out, and they go to the Cullen house where they have a vote about whether or not Bella should be a vampire. Everyone except for Rosalie votes yes.
Yeah. Honestly, I was rooting for Carlisle to be like,
right. I thought Carlisle was gonna say no.
I know, because I was like, I knew Rosalie was gonna say no, and the minute she did, I was like, thank God. And then like Carlisle was like steps forward. I'm just like, here comes the speech of I won't do it. She has to live out her life. But he's like, nah, you're with Edward now, so you're part of us. I'm like, Carlisle.
You know, Carlisle is up for turning any and everybody into a vampire. He does not care.
But he's not even going to turn her. And I'm just like, yo.
Spoiler alert, if it wasn't illegal to turn children into vampires, he would probably start turning children into vampires. Like, he is not that bright. And then, so Bella decides that after graduation, she will become a vampire. And while driving home, Edward stops. Whoa, why'd I put Edward? It's totally Jacob.
It is totally Jacob.
Jacob stops them and tells him of her plans. Edward thanks Jacob for keeping Bella safe while he was gone, which was kind of petty. He's like, hey, thanks for looking after my girl, but like, I'm back.
Yeah. Like, I know y'all like almost had a thing, and like I could hear y'all almost kiss when you told me that my girlfriend might have been dead and like was gonna have a funeral, but like I'm back now.
I'm back now. And then Jacob reminds Edward of the terms of the treaty. And those are that if a Cullen member bites someone, the treaty is over. And that he will have to kill Bella. Bella then tells Jake that she loves him, but she will always pick Edward.
Choose Edward.
Which you might as well not tell me that you love me. Like, what's the point of you telling me that you love me?
Right.
Why?
Because you're just gonna confuse the boy anyway.
And so Edward and Jacob are about to get into a fight, but Bella stands in the middle of them and they stop. And Jacob runs off. And then the movie ends with Edward proposing to Bella. Fun, isn't it? Are you ready for some movie facts?
Yeah, hit me with it.
Okay. In the school parking lot scene, it is at the beginning of the movie. It's Bella's 18th birthday. This scene was shot on April 9th, which was Kristen Stewart's 19th birthday. I can speak, I swear.
That's nice. It was actually her birthday.
The color tone of this movie is very different from the first one. Yes,
it is.
Twilight focuses on Bella's relationship with Edward, and so the film has a very harsh, light gray colors. And the New Moon focuses on her relationship with Jacob, and so it reflects the orange, warm glow of a werewolf.
Nice.
This was the last film in the Twilight Saga for Rachel Lefevre. Is that how you pronounce her name?
I don't know.
Sure. And was it even Rachel or was it Rochelle? I don't know.
Oh,
Whatever her name is, she plays Victoria. She
oh
was
yeah.
she was fired while filming the third film, Twilight Saga Eclipse, due to her scheduling conflicts. And then she was replaced by Bryce Dallas Howard,
Yep, Bryce Dallas Howard.
which I think she did a much better job.
Yeah.
This is my favorite. We talked about this in the last
Oh
episode.
yes.
Each member of the wolf pack had to have papers proving their native descent. But then, except for Taylor Lautner.
Yeah, except for Taylor Lautner.
So,
like, I appreciate the length that they went to.
But they couldn't do it for the main character.
But they couldn't do it for the main character.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
Like that funny video I see all the time. If 1 + 1 is 2, and 2 + 2 is 4, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. So is this movie iconic?
I will say I'm gonna say yes, only for the fact that I feel like this is the movie for all those Team Jacob girls. Everyone on Team Jacob. I feel like
I was Team Jacob.
You know what? I was never on a team, but like looking back on like watching them now, I'm just like, you know what? I'm a Team Jacob.
I've always been on opposing teams. I've never, in these type of movies, I've never liked the main relationships.
I don't think I ever do either.
Like in Grey's Anatomy, I was not Team Mick. What is Derek's thing? Is it McDreamy?
Yeah, McDreamy, and then
I do not like Derek.
His name was McSteamy.
I loved like when she was having that thing with Derek and Riley. I was most definitely in Team Riley.
Mm-hmm.
And here I'm most definitely
Team Jacob. Well, I feel like as like Team like Jacob, like his character himself, he's more human. Like he cares more, right?
Yes.
Edward is literally just Bella on a pedestal. I love you kind of deal. But like Jacob's like, no, what do you think?
There's kind of like no chemistry between them.
Yeah. And it's funny because they say that there's a bunch of chemistry between them.
There's not at all.
And that's why they hired both of them, because they like clicked immediately. And I'm just like, did they really?
Yeah, they didn't.
In the movie, it seems very like non-existent.
Yeah.
Because even in this movie, like after Bella gets hurt at like her birthday party and Carlisle's like stitching her up, a bunch of people always say that this is the scene where they're like, dude, even Carlisle and Bella have more chemistry than her and Edward. That's true. Like I feel that.
Yeah. Bella had more chemistry with that random dude on the motorcycle than she does with Edward.
I feel like she has chemistry with everyone but Edward. And also I feel like her strongest connection to the Cullens is Alice. And that's it. Like if Edward wasn't in the picture, she could just be BFFs with Alice.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Well, as for me, I'm gonna go with no.
Okay.
This movie is boring. It's just filled with like exposition and bad acting.
Mm-hmm. Like other than the Team Jacob stuff, there's literally nothing in this.
No.
It's literally just Bella depressed. Very like bad mental health for Bella, and then like Team Jacob stuff sprinkled in, and that's it.
And then anytime they had anything interesting, like the lore of the Vulture, like they glossed over it.
Yeah,
I was like, I want to know more about the Vulture. And then we learned nothing.
We never do.
Throughout this entire series, we don't learn really anything about the Vulture. We don't know anything about their motivations. We don't know how they rose to power. We don't know anything about them.
The only thing we know is that Carlisle used to be one of them, and that's it.
And we barely even know that.
Yeah, we barely even know that. We only know that from a freaking painting.
Half a scene, not even half a scene, like 3 seconds in a scene.
Also, like all of these villains in like Victoria and the Vulture, they're never gone into.
No.
At all. Like the only thing they're focused on is Edward and like the discourse between Edward, Bella, and Jacob. And I'm just like, y'all could have had so much better movie if y'all actually focused on your villains.
Yeah, like Victoria is a villain of this movie, and she's in this movie for 1 scene.
Yeah, she's like got 2 minutes on screen and that's it. And then even in the next movie, she's
in the movie for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Most of it at the end.
Yeah. And what's with all of these Twilight movies having like all of the Jacob and Edward discourse for like the first hour and a half, and then the last like 20 to 30 minutes is the actual plot?
Who knows?
Because that's why I stopped watching Eclipse so early last night, because I'm just like, nothing is really happening right now at all.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yay, Eclipse and New Moon.
Yeah.
Twilight Week is going so well.
It's going perfectly. Do you have any recommendations?
I do. So Excuse Me, I Love You came out yesterday. I'm going to be recommending that. Really good. Have you watched it yet?
No.
Okay. I'm also going to recommend Torn by LaToya.
Oh, I love that song.
Bro, like I was obsessed with that song in high school, and then I haven't heard it in like years, and it popped up on my Spotify, and I was like,
oh, I definitely have it on like 2 Spotify playlists.
Bro, I forgot what a bop Torn is. Like, check out Torn by LaToya. Check out LaToya herself, because she's got some good stuff. Your recommendations?
I only have one for today.
Okay.
It's Blood and Water on Netflix. It's such a good show. It's like a South African show. It's about a girl who believes that this other girl is her long lost sister.
Oh.
And so she like finesses her way into her private school so that she can like find out if it's actually her sister. It's a very good show. Everyone should watch it. And that's it for me for this week.
So short.
Yes.
I feel like we never have like the same amount of recommendations.
Oh no, never.
It's either I have one and you have like 2+, or I have 2+ and you have 1.
Yeah. We like to keep it fresh.
Yes.
Keep you on your toes.
Yes.
So thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Don't forget to follow us on our social media. We have a Twitter and an Instagram. They're both at SYTYI Podcast. You can answer our questions or send us movie requests at our email, sytyipodcast@gmail.com.
Yep.
And then also don't forget to share us with your friends and your family. Subscribe to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
And rate and review us on Apple Podcasts.
Please do.
I don't know how it's going. Oh my gosh. Literally in the Twilight episode, we said it's January. It's not January.
Oh, shit. Is it not?
No, that episode goes up December 28th. It's not a new year yet.
Does that mean we have to record another one?
No, we do not. We are not doing that. We're just going to leave that mistake in. We're rectifying it now. Okay.
So if you're listening right now, is it the new year yet? Can we say Happy New Year now?
It's not. It's December 29th.
Oh, gosh. Oh, yeah. Okay, so we got a couple more days.
Days.
Happy end of 2020.
Yeah.
We're almost there.
We're
Sorry about that whole New Year thing.
Sorry about that mistake.
Psyched you out.
Maybe you're listening after the New Year.
Maybe you.
We're just ahead of the game.
Out. We are ahead of the game. We record these too early sometimes, and we're like, I don't even know what day it is anymore.
We're sitting here recording this. It's not even Christmas yet.
I know,
and we're done with our We've been done with our Christmas episodes.
Yes, we have. Like we started recording Christmas in November, and then we were done with Christmas by like the second week of December.
So then we had
to start talking about something else.
Yeah. That's why that's why pretty much all of my intro stuff is like what I've done this week is all gonna be Christmas related.
Well, I mean, that's
You
what
get
happens
what
when
you,
we record too early.
yep, you get what you get.
Yeah, but also you decided to listen to us today, so
Yeah.
you chose this chaos.
Uh but yeah, I hope you're still wearing your mask
Yeah.
and
Don't
your
forget to wash them and your hands.
and your hands
Mhm.
and stay iconic.
Stay iconic, y'all.
Bye. Kelly has to go watch
Bye.
Eclipse.
Yes, I do.